Admiral William Fallon has resigned. Admiral William Fallon is the top U.S. military commander in the Middle East, and he is a person who has stood in the way of the Bush administration from attacking Iran. He has said firmly, it will not happen on my watch. And I had said earlier that I felt comfortable that the Iran attack would not happen based on a number of things. The NIE report, and Defense Secretary Robert Gates is against it, and Admiral Mullen, and who's the now head of the Joint Chiefs, and Admiral Fallon, who's the CENTCOM commander, were against it. And Admiral Fallon had made comments such as basically indicating that he would resign if there was going to be an attack against Iran. And now he has resigned. And he's resigned abruptly. No one saw this coming. That's a really, really bad sign. I mean, somebody grab a red flag and wave it. Just last week, Esquire published an article saying that Fallon is the man who would stop the war with Iran. He has said in the past, and we've reported on the show, that, quote, the attack on Iran will not happen on my watch. And Esquire article just last week said if he resigns, that's a clear signal that we might be headed to war with Iran. And when Fallon resigned, he said, quote, recent press reports suggesting a disconnect between my views and the president's policy objectives have become a distraction at a critical time and hamper efforts in the CENTCOM region. In other words, yes, it's because we have policy differences. That's the polite way of saying we've got policy differences. Of course, Gates, the defense secretary, says, no, don't be ridiculous. He said, he described it as ridiculous and said there's a misperception that Fallon disagrees with the administration approach to Iran. I don't think there were differences at all. That's nothing but an absolute lie. Okay? And I'm a guy who likes Defense Secretary Robert Gates, and I've given him a world of credit on what he's done in Iraq. And it appears that he's not in favor of war with Iran either. Now, having said that, what he's saying about Admiral Fallon is a lie. Admiral Fallon was definitely against war with Iran, and Esquire reported that if he's removed, it means they are looking for a general who's, quote, more pliable to go to war with Iran. And Fallon also opposed the surge in Iraq, and he said the saber rattling in the region against Iran was, quote, not helpful. So he's on the record as being opposed to any type of conflict with Iran. Removing him is a terrible, terrible, terrible sign. It doesn't mean that we're definitely going to go to war with Iran. No question about that, because Gates is against it, Mullen is against it, as far as we understand. But Dick Cheney has a way of twisting people once they get inside that administration and convincing them that they absolutely, positively have to go to war no matter what. I don't know if Gates is already, is under that voodoo Jedi mind lock that Dick Cheney has done. I don't know if Mullen, what his situation is, but anyone who doesn't see that Fallon's resignation is a bad sign is not paying attention. I mean, how much clearer could it be where a guy says the attack on Iran will not happen on my watch, and then he abruptly resigns? By the way, his term was supposed to be up next spring, not this upcoming spring, next spring. And Esquire was saying if he's moved out by the summer, that's a bad sign. They didn't even wait for the summer. Shoot, we're in the beginning of March and they moved him out. Be careful. Here we go.